watching Turn to the Stars. My name is Andrea Clem, and today we have a really interesting show planned for you. Being that today is November 13th, we are going to be experiencing a total solar eclipse. And the energy of this can be felt around the world. However, here in Manchester, New Hampshire, it starts at around 6:04 p.m. That new moon total solar eclipse at 21 degrees and 59 minutes of Scorpio, taking us all in a new direction. And as you can see behind me, I created this really interesting sort of slideshow of pictures, and there's a song that inspired these pictures, and it's by Rihanna, called Shine Bright Like a Diamond, Shine Bright. And that song's been going through my head, but these pictures remind me of what we all need to do right now at this time, as the sun gets blocked by the moon in this total solar eclipse. It reminds us to all shine bright in our spirit. Just shine bright and stay positive, because it is an incredible time of transformation, transmutation, transition, and we all need to shine bright. And so that's just the most important part of this experience that we're about to have, which is going to take us on a complete new direction over the course of the next 6 months. Now, this total solar eclipse, as you can see on the screen, has Aboriginal overtones, which means that the totality of this solar eclipse can be seen in Cairn, Australia, right along, just as the sun rises in the morning. They are going to be experiencing this event. Phenomenal event to be able to experience. It's like a once-in-a-lifetime thing to be able to see this. And in my research, and for every show that I bring to you, I do lots of research and want to make sure that I'm telling you every bit of information that I can, astrologically, physically, spiritually, so that, as you've heard me talk about on these shows in the past, I'm not going to stop talking about this either, because it's so important. Being a intuitive spiritual astrologer and shamanic practitioner, I've had the opportunity to learn so much more about the workings of the human being and what supports us. And I, over the course of the last couple of years, learned about the spirit, the soul, the mind, and the body, and the team that we have within us. And so, coming back to with that said, the spirit, the soul, the mind, and the body really are all one, a team. And with the solar eclipse that we have this energy coming in at this time, it is a new identity. It is a new direction, and it's pretty powerful and intense because of the Scorpio piece that is influencing this path of 6 months of change. So coming back to, though, the Aboriginal overtones, this solar eclipse, if you're down in Cairn, Australia, and you're awake early in the morning, you're going to be able to see this total solar eclipse happen. And there's many scientists that have traveled down to this area to watch and observe this whole process, because they're studying the scientific piece of this, is how can we capture the light of the sun? How can we find more ways to provide energy for the world? So you're going to see about that in the news, and if you're on the web, NASA's website, it's going to be a really interesting experience to withhold. So I just wanted to point that out, and I do want to remind you one more time, as you see what's happening behind me, these pictures, remind yourself that you are a spirit, and shining, your spirit shines bright in the process of all this change. So just keep it shining. And I do want to talk to you about that this is also a time of evolution, natural evolution for human beings, for humankind. We are in a place that is huge. To be alive on this planet at this time is such an experience, as we are birthing this new age of Aquarius. And at Turn to the Stars, we are so much in a support of that. We just did a psychic holistic fair this past Saturday at the Yard, and we called it an Age of Aquarius event. We had a tremendous day. The energy is just so intense, though. I'm sure any of you, all of you who are watching this show, and just know exactly what I'm talking about, because you can feel that things, it's almost like you've got a ball of marbles in your belly and they're jiggling around, and you just don't know which step to take next. So we just keep on moving. However, this energy is so intense, and so that's what I'm talking about. Is the solar eclipse is one of the biggest triggers. Not only do we have that happening, we also have Mercury retrograde at this time, taking us on a backward journey with our thoughts, our ideas. And between now and the end of this month, we have that type of energy sort of taking us back to get that means to a better end when it comes to our decision making and the knowledge and the information that we require to move ahead in our life. So know that around November 17th, you're going to feel that there is some relief with that kind of mixed up energy that we're all feeling right now. And so hold off on making those decisions if you can till the end of the month. You'll be so much happier that you did. However, now coming back to the solar eclipse, I want to show you a video of it's very informational, very good, step by step, shows you what this is going to look like, this solar eclipse. And these are pictures that actually of an actual total solar eclipse that I put together. So I'm going to play that for you right now, and I just want to keep in mind of the reflections. And as you listen to this video, as you watch this video, you can really feel what's happening. So with that in mind, I'm going to go ahead and play that and be right back. Thanks for watching that with us. That last picture that you saw on the screen of a pond, it's actually Hood Pond in Derry, New Hampshire. I took that picture yesterday in the morning. The water was so still, and you could actually see all that was on the land reflecting into the water, and it is just very much like the energy of this total solar eclipse, which will be reflecting energetically. It will be reflecting back to us some things that we are really rising out of, or transitioning or moving through at this time in our life. And it's interesting because Scorpio energy, if you think about the symbol of the scorpion, the scorpion is a bottom dweller, and they are a land dweller. But they do walk along on the bottom of the ocean, and they have a purpose. They serve a purpose, and they are actually a very strong and very strong creature. And their energy does. The person who carries that same energy, or they're a Scorpio or have Scorpio energy in their birth chart, they carry that same energy as well. And they really are there to help, and they're constant, they're consistent, they're strong. Once they hold on to something, it's very hard to let go of it because of the fixity of their energy or their makeup. So with this solar eclipse coming in at 21 degrees of Scorpio and 59 minutes of that constellation, it is going to bring us to the dwelling of looking at the bottom of things, of where we've come, and really it's going to help us pinpoint and point out the things that are important for us to overcome or get through or transition through. And I did write down some things like toxic emotions that are coming up. I'm seeing this in my clients. I'm seeing this with the people that I'm talking to about the changes in their life. Toxic memories, toxic thoughts, toxic intentions, toxic actions. Now those are identifying things that can make us sick. That can make us, these things that we hold on to that can keep us down. But let's talk about the transitional, or the powerful ability that Scorpio has to overcome, to transition through if it so chooses. So we have this available to us. I'm going to show you a chart of this total solar eclipse. First on the screen this is the total solar eclipse, the universal chart. And by universe meaning universally, this is what it looks like for all of us. And you can see down on the bottom right side of the chart, there's a cluster of planets, I'd say about 4 o'clock. And you can see the sun and the moon together in this solar eclipse. And you see all those red lines that are kind of going up to like around 12 o'clock in the chart. Those are what are things that we are struggling through or working on, or experiencing blocks in these areas. So it does take identification of these things in order to overcome them. So important. I know, just talking with different people at the fair on Saturday, and all the readings that were done, every single person I talk to are going through a transition in their life of some type. So it's so important, so important with this Scorpio energy to not get caught up in the mucky muck. Identify it and move through it, and then shine bright like the diamond, like you see behind me. Because if you stay in that place, it is just not a healthy place to stay. So, secrets. This eclipse does take us through of this final piece of this dark tunnel, so to speak, that we've been traveling through in our age. We're at the end of an age. We are about to birth and breathe life into a new age. And so the things that we've kept quiet will come out in the light. This solar eclipse is going to turn the lights on. Once we get through that tunnel and we get beyond the disk of the moon, which is passing over the face of the sun, and we see things in a new light, it's going to be a very powerful experience. This next 6 months is going to take us in a completely new direction. And as you saw, the Aboriginal Overtones, that this eclipse brings to us will, it does touch. What's happening with this is actually this energy, this eclipse is actually occurring right over Arnhem Land, which is at the northeast corner of the Northern Territory of Australia, which is Cairns. And if you're, as I said before, if you're up early in the morning, you will get to see this total solar eclipse. And it's interesting because the pure Aboriginal consciousness is one of the highest vibrational frequencies, which really does drench us with light, with positivity. And the Aborigines, or that culture of Australia, they were very, very big with their spirituality. They really practiced and followed their inner guidance, which was rich with information, energy, life, and soul, and all of which our world desperately needs at this time. People have moved away from being able, they've moved away from listening to their spirit, the guidance of their spirit, and it's interesting that there's going to be some old ways but some new ways of integrating where we're going. Much like a baby, as you've heard me talk about in past shows, a baby, when a baby is born, the mother goes through this total transition. The baby goes through this transition with the mother. The baby's head, sort of shifts and the bones are soft so that it can be born coming out of the canal of the birth canal. So we, as on Earth here, are moving into the center of that Milky Way. And this solar eclipse is like the second step of seeing beginning to see the light of where we're going. So as you heard me say earlier, it's much like a birth of a baby. We on Earth are the baby being reborn, so to speak. And interesting information in researching this show. And you see again that total solar eclipse on the screen in Scorpio, and it is going to worldwide influence huge change in our healthcare systems, and everybody in this new direction all together talking about identifying what this is going to look like. So it's interesting. I want to talk a little bit more though about leading up to this solar eclipse, some of the things that we've experienced, like Hurricane Sandy. There's an astrologer on web that I often like to really read what she writes, because she's really interested, Carol Sioko, I think that's how you pronounce her name, and she talks about the eye of the hurricane, of Hurricane Sandy, and that what it looked like was actually something very similar to what this total solar eclipse is going to look like. There was a certain type of symbolism or picture of how this actually looked, the eye of the hurricane. And that actually occurred when we did have a full moon in Taurus, which was on the axis of Scorpio. And here we are having a total solar eclipse in Scorpio. That occurred on October 29th. And there were some major markers within that dreadful storm that did signal the energies of the 2012 shift. And it could spell out ways that we can work with and assist the tides of change that are right underfoot for us. We are, it was interesting. Yesterday I was talking to my shamanic teacher, earth shamanic teacher, and planning for a graduation ceremony for this Saturday. And we talked about this is what we've all been waiting for so long. And here it is, and we're all kind of shaking in our boots of the excitement, yet also the experience of what we're feeling. So the eye of Hurricane Sandy sort of showed us a picture of the eye of this the eye of the Scorpion, which is coming with this total solar eclipse. And it's interesting, that's what Carol Sioko calls it, the eye of the Scorpion that helps us to solve the problems of Scorpio. Scorpio can be a very toxic sign if you get stuck in it. However, this eclipse is also a powerhouse of raising our consciousness, sort of encouraging us to shift our consciousness. So it's just a really incredible process to see. And I wanted to show you this picture that I took one more time, just to sort of plant this seed of what this solar eclipse is bringing. This is actually the picture I was telling you about, and the way I actually yesterday in the morning, I'm thinking about today's show, and I'm thinking about reflections, and then I see this picture in Hood Pond, and it looks like the buildings are exactly mirrored by the water. And we are all going to be doing exactly this in our lives, reflecting back, and then using those reflections to overcome and transition through this time that we're moving into. So I thought it was really just an incredible picture, and it would help you to get a good idea of, in your mind, that physical picture of transformation and change, and what'll be happening with all of us over the course of the next 6 months of our life. So this framework of change is going to be very much about reflections. And now I have another chart that I want to show you, which is, this is the U.S. birth chart. And it has the birth chart of the United States in the middle. That's the center chart, the center ring, and the outer ring is the actual solar eclipse and how it's going to be influencing us here over the course of the next 6 months. What things we might expect. The chart is showing that there's going to be some problems with uniting, people coming together, the public sort of stuck in thinking that you've probably heard people say this, I already know that, don't tell me what to do, or I already know how that is best for me. However, so we're going to have some growing pains together as a country in the financial areas of our beingness, so to speak, and we're really going to need to be strong together, put our lights together to overcome some of these financial challenges that are continuing to show their face. That is one of the things that this total solar eclipse is promising us. That would be one of the things that does continue to challenge us. Another thing that's showing up here is you're going to see a lot of talks which are filled with emotion from our leaders, from the people, about our value systems, our money. You're going to see lots of talks about our borders, about foreign policies, spiritual beliefs, people's different spiritual beliefs. There's going to be some opportunities for people to really come through this together and join more together and look at the little things that we fought over for ages, that really there's going to be sort of like this unconditional resolve. And so that's another piece. This solar eclipse, as in that chart, you can see that it is affecting everybody collectively by the place that it's at up in the top left corner, probably around, I'd say around 10 o'clock, you can see that solar eclipse. That's what in astrology we call that part of the chart, the effects of that to the collective, to the communities. And you're going to see big changes with communities and transitions that occur. The other thing that we are going to have opportunities to come together to face these financial concerns. And what that looks like will be up to us. The United States as a whole, I was watching a show this morning on Manchester Public Television and Democracy Now! And they were talking about that this past presidential election was the most expensive campaign election that there has ever been. It has been the most expensive, and yet there's all these people that are suffering so much in poverty. And so we do need to address these issues of and talk about and find ways toward a better resolve for the community, for the public. So interesting too that from now until, and we're in this right now, till the end of January, the planet Jupiter, if we put that U.S. chart up one more time, I just want to show you right around 3 o'clock on the outer ring, you can see what looks like a symbol 4. That's Jupiter in the constellation of Gemini. And between now and the end of January, that planet is in a backward motion, taking us all to gather information of how we can find a better center, center ourselves with the knowledge that we have, and even research more into how we can do better in our healthcare system and in service to each other and help each other. So that planet expands on wherever it goes. So in the face of this total solar eclipse, there's lots of things to talk about. There's lots of little things that really do matter, and I do want to encourage all of you to keep that light of yours shining bright like the diamond, and keep that positive outlook, and if you get a chance to take a look online or even just watch the news tonight to see what this is looking like, because it will actually you'll be able to see this total solar eclipse if you're on the other side of the United States, not over here on the East Coast, but on the other side. You'll be able to see some of the shadows of it there, and I think parts of Canada on that side of the world. So I do want to say thank you to everyone, and I do want to wish you all grace and ease at this time of transition in your lives, and peace, and that this be a harmonious, that all your transitions be harmonious. So thanks for watching Turn to the Stars, and if you want to find out what this might look like personally in your life, please let us know. We're happy to help in any way we can at Turn to the Stars. Again, thanks for watching, and we will see you next week.